All right, everybody, welcome back to Rolling Out. This is Rashad Milligan, another special edition of Community Leadership. Special one this time. He said, I know I just said special and special back to back, but this is one that you're really going to enjoy. The W.K. Kellogg Foundation, they've worked with several communities to establish the National Day of Racial Healing. And today, to speak about this particular thing that's been going on for a certain set of years, we have Lejeune Montgomery, Tabron, and Colman Domingo. Just both guests, welcome to Rolling Out. How are y'all feeling today?
We are great.
Good to be here with you. Good to be here with you, Rashad.
Likewise, likewise. Coleman, you've been like the talk of 2024 red carpets for black men, man, with the suits and you've been putting it on. I just want to know, like,
Listen, I put it on because I know I'm representing a whole bunch of us. And I think that, images like what I look like, how I stand, what I wear, they're very meaningful. I mean, I'm very intentional about all of it because I know I represent all these black and brown men. And I'll make sure when they see me, they see grace, they see love, they see us being meticulous. I know I represent so many of us. And I know that, people may have images of us that are not true. So I feel like for me, I got to stand tall for you, Rashad.
man, I appreciate it because when I'm like, man, like when they say the best dressing, it's a black man, and I'm like, oh man, you better do it, man, you better do it. And it's just it's just so creative, like the because it's not, I think men, period, they just get a bad rap of like they're too boring, black suit, black tie, black tux,
Yeah,
like
but also all the images that are put on us as black men, and in particular, for me, it drills down to that because I feel like I have a personal responsibility to show us in a different light, and what I say is also important. I mean, because I draw the eye to me with the clothes, right, and then it's about what I say on the red carpets and the way I say it, so I think I hopefully believe that there's more than just me dressing, but it's also the way I show up for us and for the culture.
100%. And
It's an act of resistance.
yeah, no, no, I heard it. I heard it. I heard it. It's appreciated and like I just appreciate the effort and everything like that and the thought that went into it more than anything, hearing that thought behind it and knowing that it was a conscious effort. Now going to this National Day of Racial Healing, I guess we could start off with Lejeune. What is a little more about this? 8 years in a running, what is this day all about?
Yes, so the day was really envisioned by community, and it is a day of taking action toward creating a society where the color of your skin doesn't determine your outcomes, where you can dream and have opportunities and access to capital to become entrepreneurs, whatever your heart's desire. So, what we know we need in this nation is racial equity, and we believe the pathway to racial equity is through racial healing, which is about connecting people to one another, sharing our stories, our backgrounds, speaking about our humanity and creating a level of empathy amongst us so that together then we can do the work to create a society that works for all of us. The day is the day after Martin Luther King Day intentionally because it is the day following, our hearing of such a great visionary leader and his vision. And then the next day, we wanted it to be the action day, the day that we all take action, that we do our own work in our communities, and we create the vision that MLK shared with us, where every person thrives.
Right, no, 100%. And Coleman, why did you choose to partner with the Kellogg Foundation to bring this to light?
Everything about the Kellogg Foundation's mission seems to be in alignment. It starts with how they take care of children and looking after. It starts there, and I feel like I'm not a father, but I am pretty much a father to many because I believe in like what do we do for the next generation? What tools do we give them to thrive? And I think anyone can see it in all of my work. What I'm concerned with, I'm concerned about um, healing and grace and more love in the world. I think it is a revolutionary act to combat this very polarized world and a world where we have so many differences. And I feel like my job as an artist is to bring us together. And if I can find other partnerships with other organizations, and I love partnering with foundations that are aligned with the same mission. Lejeune loves the fact that I'm a storyteller, and it's really about telling each other's stories. So I think that that's I feel like we're perfectly aligned, and I love that we're out there trying to do the work together.
And this goes to both of you guys now. How can we practice healing year round?
Yes. First, if you go to dayofracialhealing.org, we've published how-to guides and tools to actually conduct a healing circle, to connect to others in your communities. There are many practical tools on our website, dayofracialhealing.org, that we invite everyone to access. And then secondly, once you've gone there and created and accessed all the tools, we want you to actually practice this work. Start within your family. Start a smaller dialogue and then have it spread throughout your community. And then, after you've learned from someone maybe had a different point of view than yourself, begin to have a dialogue around where there is still space for the two of you to work together. And that is what this work is all about. And what we know is many people are out there doing this work. And while all of the headlines are about our division, we know the real work is happening when we're coming together. And that's what we want people to take action to do, especially in this moment, in this time, in this nation. A simple act is just to vote and understand how you're voting and why you're voting, but to exercise your right to vote in this moment.
Right. No, Lejeune, you brought up a great point. Donald Glover, he once said it like in Hit the World Out of his latest album, where he was like, I just want to get back to making fun. Like when I was making this album, he said the most fun we had was making fun of a guy this year. He said it was fun, but like, I'm gonna get back to kind of just pure fun. And I think a lot of that stems back to unity. You can't have fun if all the fun you're having is just making fun of one other guy, and that's some else that we're seeing and stuff like that going on. But Coleman, I want to ask you, we got a couple minutes here left. I want to ask you about your upcoming film, Sing Sing. What is
Yeah,
Sing Sing? What is the entire kind of premise of it, and what are
sure.
you excited about with this film?
Well, Sing Sing, it's a film that's out nationwide now, and it's about a rehabilitation to the arts program at Sing Sing Prison. These men founded this program about using theater to heal. Anybody knows if you're in a high school play, you know what it builds. It builds a team, it builds responsibility, it builds you being able to put your feet in another person's shoes and to call on feelings and really do some process work. And they found it to be a life tool. So this film really is about it's not a prison film at all. It's a film about these people inside of a prison, and they're doing the work for their own liberation of their heart, their mind, and their soul in order to eventually come out of these prisons and become really loving, rehabilitated members of society to, as my co-star would say, to heal the communities that we have actually caused harm to. So I think that it's a film that's built with a lot of love and grace to see Black and brown men as tender. I think it's for everybody. It's also funny. It's also human, and it's also something I think we need right now. We need all these different tools, with whether we're using art or we're using the tools that foundations give us. We're aligned and doing the same work.
And shout out to Tyrese as well. He was just on Breakfast Club yesterday at the time of recording this, and obviously, with Tyrese, and Breakfast Club in general, I feel like a lot of people might kind of laugh at some of the more viral moments, but he was being serious about like Black men cry, and people needed to see him cry and everything like that, and have it normalized because there is such a stigma. You see Van Jones whenever he cries on CNN, it's an entire discussion of the internet just poking fun at him.
Well, yeah, because I think we have this whole stigma attached to Black men that whether we imposed it upon ourselves or whether the world has imposed it on us, that takes us away from being human. And we have all these feelings. And for us to acknowledge we have all these feelings and to be tender and to be soft has nothing to do with your masculinity. If anything, it makes you a bit more human. And I think that's the way we heal ourselves. And when people come and see Sing Sing, they'll see these very, very sort of hyper masculine dudes allowing each other to have all the feelings and all the heart. It has nothing to do with sexuality whatsoever. It has to do with to be human. And that's the beauty. And I think that's revolutionary. And the revolution does what? It starts with that.
Yes.
Yes,
And
sir.
that's why this partnership is just a perfect one, because narrative change is part of the strategy to get us to a new place. And these narratives that are shifted so that we can all be seen as humans is exactly the pathway toward getting to racial equity. So it's just an honor to partner with Colman, and it's just, a pleasure to talk about this work and encourage everyone to engage in this work.
Oh, 100%. Well, Lejeune, we appreciate the time so much. Lejeune, Montgomery, Tabron. I had to say the full thing. I had to say the full thing. And Colman Domingo, Edith Productions as well. Not only as, the front-facing guy that you see, the starring actor and things of that sort, but a boss in the industry. So we want to salute you and give you your roses for that as a playwright, as a director, as a owner of a production company. And thank you for all that you're doing for Black men and representation within Hollywood. And as always, I'm Rashad Milligan for Rolling Out. And until next time, you all please take care of yourselves.